today's video, I'll be talking about how SMEs are affected by net zero efforts of their corporate customers. Hi, I'm Barbara Albert, co-CEO of 100% Renewables, a consultancy specializing in the delivery of net zero strategies. Requirements from large corporations regarding carbon footprinting and net zero can filter through to SMEs, being small and medium-sized enterprises, in a number of ways. As larger companies work to reduce their carbon footprint and achieve net zero emissions, they may require their suppliers to do the same. This can create a ripple effect down the supply chain, with smaller businesses being required to measure and reduce their emissions to maintain their relationship with the larger company. And as larger companies are increasingly taking a public stance on climate change and other sustainability issues, this can impact the reputation of SMEs that work with them, as customers and other stakeholders may expect smaller businesses to also demonstrate a commitment to sustainability to maintain a positive brand image. Here is an example of how a big retailer is driving change in its supply chain. Woolworths emits roughly 2 million tons of carbon emissions across their Scope 1 and Scope 2 emissions, and they already have a roadmap for how they will address their Scope 1 and Scope 2 emissions. Now, Woolies is quite a large emitter. They consume roughly 1% of all of Australia's grid. Now, I just showed you Scope 1 and Scope 2, but Woolies' Scope 3 emissions are 14 times the size of their Scope 1 and Scope 2 emissions. So what are Woolies' Scope 3 emissions? Woolworths undertook an assessment to understand where the Scope 3 emissions are generated. 85% of Scope 3 emissions are goods and services that the Woolworths Group purchases, which means goods and services that suppliers provide. As you can see here, meat makes up 27%, followed by chilled products, drinks, pantry meals, snacking, and poultry. The Woolworths Group is committed to reducing Scope 3 emissions by 19% by 2030. The way Woolworths intends to achieve this emissions reduction is by working with its suppliers. They are approaching this systematically. Woolworths already has a good understanding of the areas in which their Scope 3 carbon footprint is concentrated. Many of Woolworths' larger suppliers have already set their own emissions reduction targets, and 55 suppliers have trialed a new app that Woolworths provides called Thesis. In this app, suppliers can capture their emissions data. Woolies plans to roll out Thesis progressively to eventually cover all suppliers. Initially, Thesis will focus on measurement and data collection, but in future, emissions reduction will be expected. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Please subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.